So what we got on the menu today, you seen that thumbnail. We doing Cuban Mojo pork. Y'all ready? Get in your kitchen. You gonna love this one. I'm talking about really love this one. Let's go. All right, guys, let's do a quick rundown of what we have. So right here we have some pork shoulders. Now I took my pork shoulders and I cut it into about 3 pieces. This is like a bone-in pork shoulder. I couldn't find the boneless one here. Guys, it doesn't matter. You can use bone-in, boneless, it doesn't matter. Whichever one works for you. Right here we have some freshly squeezed orange juice, lime juice, olive oil, some fresh mint chop, fresh oregano chop, fresh cilantro. We have some lime zest. We have some orange zest here, garlic powder, cumin, salt, pepper, and right here we have some red chili flakes. So that's all you're gonna need, guys. Now, if you don't have fresh oregano, use just dried oregano. If you don't have fresh cilantro, just use dry cilantro, whatever, but it's best to use fresh ingredients for this mojo pork roast. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and get started. So what I like to do when I make this particular recipe is just salt the shoulder. Even though we're gonna put some of that mojo sauce on it, I still like to add a little salt here. To me, it just gives it that extra flavor. Also, guys, what I want you to do is make some slits into your pork shoulder, just like I did here. That way that flavor gets all in between into that meat. Now we're gonna add our pepper. And like I say, guys, this is just totally optional. I think it's, it just adds more to that flavor, just like that. All right, so we're gonna set this aside, move over to our blender, and we're gonna start making our mojo sauce. All right, guys, so we're gonna start off by adding all our ingredients into our blender. Now, if you don't have a blender, just add it to a bowl and do it that way. So we're gonna start off by adding our olive oil, our mint, lime zest, cilantro, oregano, our lime juice, cumin, garlic, orange zest, salt, chili flakes, black pepper, and lastly, our orange juice. Just gonna cover that up, hit that with the pulse. All right, that's what we have. Let's head back over to the cutting board and bring our pork back into the shot. All right, so what I like to do in this step is take half of our mixture. This is about 2 1/4 cups of our mixture, and I like to pour half of it over the top of our meat. And I reserve the other half for when we add it to the crock pot. Now, you don't have to do that. What you could do is you could just add this to the crock pot and pour the meat over, but I like to marinate mine first. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get this meat submerged in this mixture, and we're gonna sit it in this bowl, and I'm gonna have it sit in this overnight. Now, if you have a Ziploc bag, you can also put it in a Ziploc bag. If not, then just leave it in your bowl like this. I'm gonna cover this with some saran wrap overnight, and once we come back, we're gonna drop that baby in a crock pot and continue the recipe, all right? All right, guys, so we've been letting our pork marinate overnight. Guys, take a look at what we have. Look at that. All right, so we're gonna get over to the crock pot, so we go ahead and get this started, all right? All right, so all we're gonna do is take our meat from the bowl right to the crock pot. Guys, it doesn't get any simpler than that. And now we're gonna take our reserved mojo sauce, and we're just gonna pour it over our meat like that. Now, guys, if you want to use the sauce that it was marinating, you can do that. Me, sometimes I do it, sometimes I don't. The sauce that it marinates in, I try not to use it again, but it doesn't matter, man. If that's what you want to do, you can, all right? Now we're just gonna cover this up. I'm gonna let mine cook on low for 8 to 10 hours. When I use a crock pot, I like to use the low setting more than the high setting. I always want my meat to get as tender as possible. Not saying you can't achieve that on the high setting, but I find that the low setting is the best. It takes longer, but hey, for me, it tastes better, all right? So I'm gonna go ahead and start this, and we're gonna start it at 8 hours. All right, so we're gonna come back, take a look after 8 hours, see what we got. If it's tender, then we're ready to go. All right, guys, we are 7 hours in. Let's remove our veil. First thing we're gonna do is take that tender test. Is that baby shredding and tender like we want it? Oh yeah, that's tender. Man, I wanna do quality control right now. But what you can do now, you can take this shredded right here in this your pot, remove the bones if you got the bone, the one with the bone in, and just go ahead and get to work. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna take it out the pot. We wanna add a little color to the top, so we're gonna put it on the broiler for a couple of minutes and let it get that color on the top. Then we're gonna come back and we're gonna shred it and we're gonna drench it in some of that good old mojo sauce, all right? Now that I've taken it out of the crock pot, I'm gonna put it in my toaster oven on a broil feature, and I'm gonna let it broil and give it some color for about 5 or 10 minutes. Guys, always check it, make sure you don't burn it. So between 5 and 10 minutes, it may be even before that, depends on how close you got it to the heat or the eye element or the top element in your stove or toaster oven. All right, let's get it in there. And guys, while that is under our broiler, what I like to do is I like to mix a tablespoon of cornstarch and some water, and I like to add it to our sauce here, our mojo sauce, and get that mixed in like that, because I like to thicken that sauce up just a little bit. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna keep this in here. We're gonna cover it up and we're gonna let it cook for about 15 minutes until that sauce thickens up, all right? And guys, this is completely optional. Now that we have our pork from under the broiler, now it's time to shred it. And I'm gonna show you guys how easy this is to shred. But what we're gonna do now, we're gonna plate this baby up on a plate, and then we're gonna get into quality control. All right, let's go. Guys, and there you have it. Slow cooker Cuban Mojo pork roast. Let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. Let's jump into quality control, guys. Let's go. We're back in here for quality control. I got my Cuban Mojo. I'm glad I'm saying that right. You know, guys, you know I want to say mojo. You know, like I say those jalapenos. Y'all know I want to say mojo. Somebody corrected me and told me it was mojo. Man, whew. Man, the aroma of these babies, man. Look at that. Oh, man. Until then, guys, I'm your cook, Spinelli, all wings, everything. And remember, not a chef, just cook a lot. And I'm out. Peace.